The boys are back in town. Slap News is here. Season 2, Road to the Title is going down. This is the preview show. What do we have on tap? What do we know, guys? Big Jeeves and my man, Ding. How you doing?
Good, man. Super excited. We saw the power of Road to the Title Season 1. It gave us what are now household names in Power Slap. So I'm really looking forward to this next generation and seeing these guys come up in the house. We have some great news. We know who the coaches are. We know some of the guys that possibly going to be on the show. We've spoken to a few of them. So there's a lot of exciting stuff, and I'm excited to get into it with you boys.
Ding.
Yeah, man. Just want to echo what you said. 28 strikers. We get to meet the next evolution of the talent for Power Slap. We've seen some stuff from some of the guys. Some of them are familiar to us, but we have a ton of talent from all over the world. This is them debuting some of the international talent that they're going to bring. I couldn't be more excited, man.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Season 1, 8 episodes long. This one is going to be 12. We've got the two coaches, KO Chris Thomas and Emanuel Muniz, coaching both sides. It's going to be a banger. We know these guys from the preview that dropped. There's going to be some animosity. We've seen Chris Thomas cocking back that hand and going for it. Is that the preview of what's to come? Is there going to be drama? Is there going to be plot twist? We know with reality TV shows, anything can happen. We know the holler head will be flowing. We know these guys are coming from all over the world this time. We've got guys from Italy, we've got guys from Ireland. We've got a Canadian. We've got a Canuck in the house. We know he's going to show up for sure and show off that moose blood and how thick and strong it actually is in Power Slap. And, we were down there, Power Slap number 5. We know the filming wrapped up. We've seen some of the guys there. Like you said, some familiar faces and a ton of new talent coming into it. And guess what? Something also real exciting. Stat Hero. Fantasy Power Slap.
Hell yeah.
How incredible is that? I was able to speak to Jason from Stat Hero. He let us know he was tasked from Dana and Frank. In 10 days, they pulled this off. They have a gamification license to be able to gamify any event. This is the first time in history that he is aware of that they are gamifying and making fantasy for a reality TV show. So how fucking exciting is that, boys?
Man, that's brilliant. It takes it to another level of sports betting. You now get to be a part of the win with the striker. You get to rock with them in a fantasy aspect. And we've seen what fantasy football, fantasy hockey, all these sports have such a huge fan base around it. I think this is great for the sport. It's going to bring some more eyes to it. You might not be a Power Slap fan yet, but you might be a sports betting fan, and getting into this sport and seeing these lines and how things are starting to evolve, it's a sports bettor's paradise. So any of these moves at Power Slap, Dana and Frank, they know what the fuck they're doing when it comes to this shit. So I'm excited, man. This is a natural progression, I think, for Power Slap.
Man, Jeeves hitting the nail on the head again, man. There's nothing that will move the needle like offering $10,000 to people for just being right. And on top of that, I don't know if you guys have seen the last couple of days, Dana White's been really plugging the Power Slap mobile game, kind of subtly with the Bob Menery thing. Bob Menery promising he was going to get to number 1. Dana's encouraging the fan base to stop him from getting to number 1. He actually makes it to number 1. So everybody's hopping on there to try to beat Bob Menery on the Power Slap mobile game. So, dude, like you said, these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah. I mean, let's get into it. 28 strikers across 5 divisions. What incredible lineup. They've talked about keep on growing the sport, being able to make it even greater. It's coming through. Let's start out, with the welterweight division. Ding, let's get into it. I'm sure you've seen some of the roster of the athletes up there on Stat Hero that you can pick right now. Who sticks out to you at 170 in this class?
Man, the 170-pound division, we've kind of been we've talked about it on the program quite a bit. It's kind of boring. There's not a ton of talent at 170. Chris is kind of standing atop the mountain and taking out all the contenders. So I'm excited to see some of these guys come up. To be honest with you, I think there's a few different people on the show that I think we haven't seen anything from, but I'm excited from some of the promo that we've seen. You've got people like Cody Billisle. You've got people like Sean Kilmartin, Jonathan Boone. I do think that this will make the rankings a little bit more interesting. We've kind of seen the same stuff going in. And I think when you talk about 28 people introducing multiple strikers to each of those 5 divisions, now you start to really fight for your ranking. Being number 2 is going to mean something. It's not just going to be by default because the other guys on the bench or they haven't fought in a while. And so I think I'm really excited to see how that plays into where we see people sit at now and where those rankings will change depending on the stars that we see come out of the show this season.
I agree with you, my man. You know, Chris Debo, who we've seen before, you know, kind of a veteran of the class coming in here. We're going to see what he's going to be able to do at 170. I think it's going to be incredibly, good opportunity for him and his strike. We've seen season 1 created a lot of the superstars that we see within the sport because the fan was able to get behind them. I think a guy like Chris Debo is somebody, if he can get out of his shell, we know he's a bit of a quirky guy. We know he's into anime, comic books, Pokemon. Can he let his personality shine through? And can he be somebody that the fans get behind? Let's see where Chris Debo stacks up. Another guy that I know Jeeves has got a bone to pick with, a fellow Hawaiian. We found a skinny Hawaiian. We've yet to see it in Power Slap. But Jeeves, what do you know about Zack Zayn?
Zack Zayn, man, we've been wanting to see this guy compete for so long. He's been in the Power Slap sphere of athletes that have been being considered for a long time. People might not know this, but Zack Zayn actually hit our radar about 3 or 4 months ago, but nothing was set in stone yet. And when we saw the caliber of athlete that this guy was, I know, Corey, you and I both were really excited to see him compete. And it looked like we were about to get that chance at Power Slap 4, but I believe his opponent couldn't make weight. And so, again, we didn't get to see Zack Zayn. So I'm very excited that he's going to get to establish himself on this show because I think he will be a huge asset to this sport, to this division, and create some sort of challenge for just Chris or whoever it may come out on top after this season, right?
Yeah. I mean, Zack Zayn, and look at his record right now, professional record of 15-15, probably some of the most experience we've ever seen of an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
Coming into this. And so pretty excited to see. We know he's a star over in Japan. He's fought for some very big promotions over there. So we know the limelight isn't going to be too big for him. So super excited to see what he is going to be able to finally do here in Power Slap. Long overdue. And now we're seeing some of those Hawaiians get down to some of those lighter weight classes. He fought at 155, back in MMA. Coming up to 170 for this one. They're not featuring the 155ers. So we'll see. Talking with Zach a little bit. I know he actually cut a bit of weight. He says he walks around 177, 178. So he did have to drop down a little bit to be able to make weight for this. We know weight cuts aren't necessarily all that great in this sport, but 7-8 pounds shouldn't be too bad. And if you, has the opportunity to do it smartly, it shouldn't be too bad overall. Jeeves, the middleweight division, we know has been held up by John the Machine Davis so far. And we've got some returning guys. We've got Joe Landman coming back. Yeah. In for the show. We've got Amir Nuruddin also comes into the show as well. And Brandon Bordeaux, who we were able to meet previously. I'm not sure if his fights have actually aired or not. It's slipping my mind right now, but another guy that we met, Mobile Butcher, tough guy. We were able to have him on our show, friend of our show. And we've got some new guys. And then, of course, the Canadian Eddie.
Big Eddie. We got some big hopes for Eddie.
Let's talk about it a little bit. Jeez.
Yeah, man. Like you said, John has he's factually stopped every contender that's come up in this division. So with the guys that we're seeing on the show, Amir is probably the most seasoned when it comes to number of events. He's been on the most numbered events so far. Joe Landman, man, the last time we saw him in Vegas, bro was looking like a mini fridge. He was thick, he was yoked, and I think he's been training very hard and taking this very seriously, which is great to see. So it'll be cool to see what happens with some of this, I'd say, sophomore generation of Power Slap that got the opportunity to be on season 2 of Road to the Title. I'm excited to see some sort of competition rise to the top for John Davis, because as of right now, I don't think there's anyone in that division that would be up for a title shot as of February. So it's good for the sport. I like seeing these new faces. Like you said, Eddie, we're excited for Eddie. We need to see some Canadians up there, man. We got some harsh winners. We're built different.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Landman is the hardest striker in this division. Got him at 39,000 francs in human force. So we're going to see how that plays out. You know, my thing with Joe Landman, you know, he may hate me for saying this, but I get the feeling that he's happy to be there. I don't know how serious he takes this. I know it's a big opportunity for him. You know, comes from Middle America, but I don't know. You know, when you get into a bracket style, a tournament style, 2-3 rounds, you know, to be crowned champion, is he actually there, and is his mind there to actually get in and be able to, you know, dominate that? Like I said, Brendan Bordeaux, I had the opportunity to interview him. This guy has a lot to fight for, to be honest with you. This guy has, like I said, you know, he seems to have his head on his shoulders, seems to be in the right place. The guy works as a butcher for his day job. So, you know, he's, you know, hardened to see, you know, carcasses on a daily basis, to be able to put that stuff aside. I think you got to be a little bit different. We've seen guys like, Cody Cox, Snake Guy, working in the prisons. We've seen guys like our buddy there from New York, Cole Young, taxidermist. We're seeing guys that kind of fall in this realm come in, you know, and, you know, have some success as well. So it'll be really great to see. Garrett Grimes, I know we haven't seen too much of him, but he could be kind of one of those silent assassins, I think, in this division. You know, workman-like mentality. You know, got probably one of the best beards in the game, and so he's somebody I think we should watch out for. I think Garrett Grimes has an opportunity on Team Blue Manny there to maybe do some damage. But yeah, it seems to be a pretty interesting overall middleweight division that we're talking about here, and I think there could be some fireworks that come from it. So yeah, Ding, you have anything to add about it?
Yeah, man, you said it best. You know, I was definitely excited about Garrett Grimes. He looks like he's dialed in and he's ready to go. You know, but like you said, I mean, John Davis, with him beating Azael, this last one out, who do you put up next? So I'm excited to see somebody emerge, and hopefully, you know, get in there in the contenders ring and figure out who's the next challenger for the champion.
I agree, my man. Let's move on. Light heavyweight, one of the deepest divisions in Power Slap.
Yeah.
We have right at the very top of this, we've got Ryan Wallace coming over from Slap Fight Championship, the Slap Joker.
Yeah.
What do we know of him? What have we seen?
So this isn't a new guy to Slap. He's new to Power Slap. So that potentially gives him an edge over some of these guys, being that he has had actual slap fight experience. Because we see this a lot with the newer guys. They really just think that they're going up there to throw a slap. Like there's a lot of stuff, body mechanics related, that you have to take into consideration, and you sometimes don't know this until your first match. So Slap Joker, he might have an upper hand coming into the house here, like I said, by having that experience from Slap Fight Championships. And, you know, they churn out some dogs over there. Some of the guys over here in Power Slap now are from Slap Fight Championship fame. So it's cool to see more of the guys transitioning over, maybe more steady paychecks, maybe more clout for their own personal growth, that. So I think it's a great move for a lot of the guys.
Yeah, we'll see if he's able to, you know, replicate some of the success that Damon the Bell, that Wolverine, you know, has had here. So we'll see what happens there. But I mean, we have to talk about Kamza Soren coming over. Ding can probably, you know, be the biggest advocate for this guy, but let's talk about him. And you know, I'm not even 100% sure where he's from. Is he from Russia? Is he from, you know, one of the Eastern European states? But we know he's got some experience, I believe, in one of those one of the Polish leagues or something there. And some of his knockouts are pretty, you know, detrimental for sure. So Ding, what do we have of this guy?
Well, I think you know, Kamsa has gone viral for being incredibly tough, above and beyond something that we would call Dorian Perez-esque, where he's really taking damage, his face is showing it, but he's still up there. And I think that there's a lot to be said of that. I don't think we make enough of that grit and that. I mean, it psychs you out to know that something's happening to your face as a result of what you're dealing with. So to be able to stand up there and continue to persevere beyond not only the pain, not only the confidence to stand there and continue to go, but now you start to see your face is changing its shape in what I would say is a scary fashion, and you
Yeah.
continue to move forward and continue to do it. And like you said, he's got some scary knockouts. This guy seems like a droid. I'm very excited to see what he does on the show.
Yeah. I mean, you need to talk about it in the image that they have for him up there on Power Slap. You can actually see his left cheek is actually inflamed, very, much more pronounced than his right side. So he has been battle tested. He has gone through war. Is this where JT Thomas's buddy's is in light heavy as well?
It's Colton.
Colton?
Garrett was in the last division. TJ's they train with Gorilla Smack, so we had Garrett Grimes there.
Okay.
Colton.
Yeah, I don't see him in. I don't see him.
Talking about Colton Cole.
Colton Cole, yeah.
Yeah, I don't see him listed, but I know he's somewhere around all this stuff.
Yeah, he's one of the newer strikers. So just to your point, Corey, yeah, so some of these newer guys, they are under the tutelage of some OG strikers. I know Chris Debo has done some camps with Dwayne Crespo, the Iron Giant camps. We know TJ's got the Gorilla Smack systems where these guys are actively training to become better power slap athletes. And we're seeing two of the guys from Gorilla Smack systems and one of the guys from the Iron Giant camp now on season 2. So there's some guys, there's guys starting to train for this, which is really nice to see.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you, my man. I think it'd be interesting. I mean, we see Team Blue Manny, we see Team Red, or what they have here, Team Black, I guess now, KO Chris. We're gonna see what happens. I think you're gonna see a different philosophy. I mean, we've got Manny come from California. We've got Chris, I think originally from Idaho, now in North Dakota. We're gonna the philosophy and how these guys select their team and what metrics they use to be able to select them is going to be very interesting. We see what teams they're on. Going to be curious about, does that mentality and how does it align, and which coach is able to come out here with, more favorable matchups. Moving on to the heavyweight division.
Let's go.
We've got Jonathan Carrera, a guy that we've seen before. Things didn't go his way. I think it's very interesting to see the mix here, where we've got a lot of the new faces coming in, which we see here in the heavyweight division. We've got some guys that have been successful in Power Slap, and we've got some guys that haven't been successful, but they want to get another look at that they've been able to invite here on season 2, Road to the Title. Ding, heavyweight, a lot of new faces. What stands out to you in this division?
Very easy. Brian Ellis. I am so excited to see what this guy's got. He's got swagger. He comes with a bit of a following already. He's been out there. He's got a fan base. This guy is a unit. He's massive. He's like the Kalani of the heavyweights. I mean, he's a huge guy.
Wow.
So I'm really, really, really looking forward to seeing what this guy can put out.
Nice.
That's no knock to like Logan Greenhall. But I'm really excited. Like you said, Rican Rambo, of course, a friend to the show. The Country Hoodlum's another one. That we'll love to see some stuff from. But Brian Ellis has stood out, and I've seen him all over social media. I'm really excited to see what he comes with.
Yeah, I think the heavyweight division could use some fresh, energetic talent. I'm hoping some of these new guys have seen the rise of the more marketable athlete from, let's just say, quote unquote, season 1 and all the numbered seasons. We see guys like Turpin and Ryan Phillips. They're developing these characters. So hopefully this new wave also brings a lot of cool personalities to the forefront and bring some life into this sport, because the heavyweight division could use it. They could use some superstars moving or shaking it up.
Yeah. I'm actually super curious to see how they got these metrics, because a lot of the metrics for the guys on the season 2 are much lower than the guys from season 1. And I mean, that's across the board. I mean, like, we're looking like a guy like Brian Ellis, with a strike force of 22,000 francs. Where we got a guy like Ryan Phillips hitting 50,000. Logan Greenhall, who you spoke about, 29,000 francs. So I'm wondering, are they measuring this on the same scale? Has the machine been calibrated? Like, is there that much of a difference? Can Ryan Phillips hit twice as hard as Brian Ellis? Like, I don't know. I'm curious to see, with these metrics. But Brian Ellis's neck strength is out of this world at 541. So we'll see if that holds up.
That might be the difference maker.
It could be. But Logan Greenhall, as you talked about, Ding, Been following this cat on Instagram. See him, pressing out 335 for reps on bench press. This guy's a natural athlete. We've seen experience obviously play into it, but athleticism still, I think, can play out here. This guy's got a neck that's wider than his head. So we're going to see. I think that neck strength can hold up. I mean, he's probably one of my dark horses. I'm actually going to lay it on the line right now, and I'm going to say Logan Greenhall is a dark horse in this. And if you were playing Stat Hero, I highly recommend at a slap score of 765 that you have Logan Greenhall in your lineup. That's going to be my call.
Throwing it down
right there.
Nice.
If you are sick fuck enough to listen to us into the 20-minute mark, you got my
a lock
for you. You got my lock.
You got Corey's lock. Nice.
So Logan Greenhall. Anything else about the heavyweight division, guys? What do you think?
I'm just, like I said, I'm just excited to see more people come in, because now, like, it's kind of like the middleweight division where we've seen the champ kind of go through all the top guys, and it'll make for boring title defenses if we don't get some more guys into these divisions. So just excited for these guys to come and compete and start making names for themselves so they can start getting accepted into the slap sphere, if you want to look at it like that.
Completely agree with you. Let's move on. Super heavyweight division.
Let's go. I love this one.
Let's get into it. We've got the big boys.
Yeah.
We've got some familiar faces. Cody Vallo.
Yeah.
And Uncle Micah. And we've got a ton of new guys. We got a sumo wrestler.
This is cool.
Let's get into it. We're able to see Hayden live in the flesh in Vegas. I got to tell you, I never thought that I would actually see a guy of that size that holds the weight the way that he did. Unbelievable. I've never seen a sumo wrestler in real life. What a phenomenon that was, and what a monster of a human he is.
Yeah.
He was wearing suspenders, Corey.
He was.
He was wearing suspenders. I mean,
He
this
was.
guy, and he's got 35,000, franc force.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 506 neck. I mean, this guy's going to be a problem. He's going to be a problem, a big problem for the super heavyweights. And then also you have the likes of, like you said, Cody Vallo. His numbers don't look so good, if I'm being honest. I'm a little concerned for him. But what about Makini Manu? Oh, dude, another Hawaiian joining the fray. His power's up there, and his force is up there. His neck force is up there. I'm excited to see him as well. I think he could really be a problem for these guys. So I mean, we expected it. It's the Hawaiian show up there at Super Heavy. Zack Zayn comes in at the smaller end of the spectrum at 170. But Polynesians they rule the slab game to this point.
Yeah, and to your point earlier, Corey, it's kind of like a nice seeing a mix of guys that are sort of getting their redemption shot on this season. So guys like Cody Vallo, Uncle Micah getting his shot again, maybe not on a numbered card, but this might actually be better for some of these guys getting exposure like this on road to the title, because they really, like we keep saying, is have that opportunity to build that relationship with the fan. And I think a guy like Uncle Micah, he's a sweetheart, man. He's got a great personality. I think he's primed for something like this. So it's cool to see Power Slap, Erica, and Frank keep these guys in the circle and give them opportunities when they come up. It just makes for exciting television, man.
Yeah, I see Manu is also a sumo wrestler, so it'll be interesting to see those guys get into it. Uncle Micah, we've seen experience play a lot into this. Does he walk into this division and just clean slate, or do we have some guys that can rival him toe to toe? We've seen him go up against, the crazy Hawaiian. Wasn't able to, the crazy wasn't able to finish him. So what does that say for a guy like Uncle Micah in this division?
I think it says that he has an opportunity here. I mean, the current sitting champion, he wasn't able to put him down. There's some arguments. Obviously, there's some controversy in that fight based on how it looked. But none of us, only the two of the guys up there know how hard they were hit or how hard they were hitting. So I think to your point, if you look at these numbers, man, Uncle Micah doesn't fall at the top end of the spectrum. You got somebody, I don't want to discount the water boy, Evian Scott. Again, somebody that we met, down there after Power Slap 5. He's got 35,000, a little over that in human force, and 625 in neck force. Not to be slept on. This guy could be the person that runs through the division, and I'm very excited. I think that the super heavyweights are traditionally powerful, and particularly this crop of them as well. So hopefully Uncle Micah can stay in there. But just based on the numbers, doesn't look too good.
Yeah. What about Danny Van Herden? What do we know of him? As of right now, Stat Hero, they have him as the favorite in the super heavyweight division. Anybody? Have we seen anything on him on social? We know he's got.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a couple. I think his nickname's the Pitbull.
Correct. Yeah.
I would hope that wouldn't be a nickname that you would give somebody who's not there to deliver. Again, somebody with crazy neck strength. 644.5, and then you're also talking about his power again, kind of nipping at the buds at that 35,000 mark. So somebody that I think and you have a lot of these guys who are kind of in the same area, right? I just talked about somebody who was at 625. Now I'm talking about somebody who's at 644. They're both at or around 35,000. So you're talking about now even matchups. I mean, it's getting very, very interesting in the super heavyweight division.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't see the brothers face off after all.
Yeah.
Talking about these numbers, Corey, that you're saying and bringing them up with these super heavies, this almost seems like these are defensive players in a sense, because their neck strengths are higher than some of the guys in the lighter divisions. And we've seen the kind of strikes that heavyweights have dealt so far. So it's kind of like with the super heavies, we might see a lot of these matches go to those decisions because they can just take these hits a lot better because they're bigger boys. They have the stronger neck strength. So it's kind of interesting to see that. It's almost like I said, they're almost like a defensive player where it's like, how much can you take and how.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be exciting. We know, like you said, 28 strikers, 12 episodes. Let's talk a little bit about what we're doing here at Slap News.
Yeah.
Every single week, we are going to be bringing you guys a recap show the night of Wednesday. We're going to be breaking it down. All three of us, Ding, Big Jeeves, and myself, giving you guys instant analysis of what we are seeing on Road to the Title Season 2. We're going to break every episode down, and you're going to want to tune into our YouTube channel, Slap News. Throw us in the search section. We come right up at the top. We've been doing this a long time. We're doing all the way back to January, my man.
Yeah.
300 videos we have produced this year alone up on YouTube. Incredibly proud of that. This is a big team to be able to make this happen, to be able to continue to push it out. And I would put our numbers up against any other media source as it relates to Power Slap. The numbers that we're pulling being just as great as that. So that is on Wednesday. You're going to get that. On the Friday, you're going to get a fight recap with some of the fighters that had matches on that Wednesday. We're going to be interviewing them. We're going to be breaking them down. If you've watched some of the interviews we just did one with Cody Cox and his fight against Brian Dozier. So if you want to see what that's going to be about, we're going to be breaking down those matches. We're going to have the striker talk through the match, what's going through their mind, what it felt like was being there. And, it's one of the more exciting things. If you're into Power Slap and you want to know what it's like to get into the head of a slap fighter, that is your time. That is your opportunity to do it. That will be Fridays. And then Mondays, we're going to be doing a preview show. We're going to be talking about what's coming up that week, what we know. We're going to have special guests on that show as well. We're going to get the coaches on. We're going to get whoever we can at Power Slap on. And we're going to keep on working everything that we can. We've got a special plug, however. Brendan Bordeaux stopped by the show. And let's, throw over to that interview. Let's hear from Brendan about what it's like to get up there, be part of the reality show, Season 2, Road to the Title. Brendan, what can people expect from Road to the Title Season 2?
Man, you can expect to see a whole new wave of talent coming in there. It was a great season. There was a lot of newcomers coming in and a lot of tough son of bitches coming into the show. Like we've heard many times, there's a whole new wave of athletes coming into the sport now. So tune in. It's going to be an amazing show.
What can people expect from you? I know you're going to bring that energy and that excitement to that table.
People can expect to see, amazing fights out of me. Tough as hell. I know I got a hell of a chin, and I plan on bringing nothing but exciting fights to the show, and then moving forward from here on out.
How did you adapt to the changing environment? Because it must have been a shock for you to go from home to living, with 28 other guys in a house.
Yeah, the changing of the environment was, it was not hard to adapt to, but it was, leaving my family, leaving my kids. You have no contact with the outside world, so that makes things really hard. Luckily, there was a couple guys in the house that I had already made friends with, so that made things a lot more comfortable. We all stuck together, real close. We made other friends as well, but having those other guys there with me, that made things way more comfortable, and I'm very appreciative of those guys.
Reality TV shows can often have, plot twists, drama, without giving anything away. Should the viewers watch out for anything specific that you think is just fireworks?
A lot of the fights were fireworks. Every round, there's nothing but good fights. There was a little bit of drama that stirred up in the house one of the nights that you guys will see on there. But it was for the most part, everybody got along real well. Everybody was real cool. We all knew that we were there for a job, when we knew that we were there for a big opportunity and to take advantage of the opportunity that we were in. But like I said, there's a little bit of drama that you guys will see, and it turned out pretty good.
Awesome, my man. One last one for you. One fighter other than yourself that people should watch out for on the road to this, title season number 2 that they may not know.
I'm going to give you 2 people, actually. Zack Zayn at 170 and Logan Greenhall at 285 at heavyweight. Those 2, us 3 are real close friends, and, watch out for those 2 as well as myself.
There we go, my man. Appreciate you, dude.
It takes a minute.
All right, and we're back. Spoke to Brendan Bordeaux. What excitement this guy's going to be. Actually, after watching that, I'm really excited to see what he's going to bring to this show. I think he goes a long way in this competition. Let's get into it. Stat Hero. Let's finish this off. I've already dropped mine. Logan Greenhall is my lock that you should be putting in your Stat Hero lineup for the chance at $10,000. I'm going to throw it over to you, Big Jeeves. Who should you lock in your lineup in that captain spot, even for that 1.5 times the point? Are you that hard and horny for this guy?
Listen, I would go for it. You might take a hit because of his standing, because he is the favorite, but I'm going to go with Zack Zayn. Like we said, we touched base with Zack about 3-4 months ago. We've been following his career progression since. We saw him training with Sean Strickland. So we know this guy is a seasoned athlete. And I think 100%, if it's my pick on my Stat Hero lineup, I'm going to put Zack Zayn in that captain spot, because I don't think I'm wrong about this guy. He is a stud, and he will continue to perform. He will rise to the top of Power Slap. And there it is.
All right, Ding. Who's your lock?
I'm going to go with the water boy, Evian Scott.
Okay.
I think that he's got the right mixture of stats. And again, meeting the kid, he seems like he's very reserved, a quieter guy. And those are the ones you got to watch out for. So I'm going with the water boy.
All right, let's recap it. Evian Scott, Zack Zayn, and Logan Greenhall. Lock those 3 guys in your Stat Hero lineup. It's going to be exciting. We're going to be here for the entire journey. You're going to want to follow along on YouTube. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want us to talk about anything, let us know in that comment section below. Turn on that notification bell as well, so you'll get a notification every time we are dropping new content, because we're going to keep on working for you guys, bringing you guys the best slap fighting coverage in the motherfucking game. My name, Corey Sweargos. We've got Big Jeeves in the middle, and we've got Ding on the right, holding it down. Appreciate you, boys. Can't wait for it. The episode's coming out Wednesday, live and free on Rumble.